Welcome, butt dumplings. This is TP for your earholes. My name is Charlene Schmidt, and with me is the other guy. Who's that?
This is Patrick Schmidt.
Hey.
Hey.
So today, we are talking about Beavis and Butthead Do America, the first of the Beavis and Butthead movies, and probably the biggest one, since it did go to the theaters as opposed to Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. I'm sorry, but that gives it more clout, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you say Beavis and Butthead movie, this is what people are going to think about. So
Yeah.
I think it's definitely the bigger one, but also it's had much more longevity. It's had a longer time to live in the cultural milieu. Let's not forget that too. There's something to be said for that.
So true. We've known Beavis and Butthead Do America for 30 years, almost. We've known Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe for about 3.
Right? If that.
Just, we're missing that second digit. So,
Yeah.
yes, just to illustrate that point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we get into our discussion, let's take care of the usual housekeeping. Can you tell everybody where they can find us?
Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TP for your earholes, all of those places.
All of them. All of them.
We're busy. And the other thing that we have going on, tpforyourearholes.com, it's where you can listen to all the back episodes along with seeing show notes and a contact form to be able to get a hold of us directly.
That's right. It reaches us personally.
Ew.
I know. I don't know. It's almost invasive, but so far, besides the spam messages, they've been really sweet and lovely.
This is true. Yeah, we have yet to get a message that's been anything but open and honest and supportive and human. And that's been really nice.
Yes, it's nice to connect with real, good, actual humans. We are finding hardcore fans much like us, and we're finding some new folks too who are newer to the show but have told us that this show is as accessible for them as it is for us old-timers, which is really great to hear. And if you are listening to this, we're really glad you're here. So thank you.
And another thing you can do to support the show, in addition to following us on all of our social media platforms, is leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform, whatever that might be. Wherever it is, it helps us.
Big time. That is the best way to support a podcast you love. It costs you nothing except maybe 5 minutes of your time. And you don't even have to go into a massively detailed review. You can just say, hey, I really like this podcast. I listen to it every week. Boom, review done, send.
Mm-hmm. And if you just want to put, hey, Patrick is really handsome, we'd take that too.
And Char's really funny.
We appreciate it. So let's dive in, I guess.
Let's do it.
Because this is a movie that I think we should set up for our audience that we did rewatch it this week.
We did. We had to do a little bit of a refresher, although I can't speak entirely for you, but I think that we've both watched this many times.
Of course. And there were, I think, multiple opportunities for us to be able to do that over the last 20 years together.
Just a few, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely are watching it probably, at least a couple times a year.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in our rotation of things that we like to watch before we go to bed because we'll just take a moment to wind down. And in that rotation is stuff that we've seen so many times that we don't actually have to be fully watching it to know exactly what's going on when we're hearing it.
And so now that we've told you about our most recent time watching it, maybe we ought to talk about our furthest away time watching it, because this movie was released on December 20th, 1996, which is darn near 30 years ago. What were you doing 30 years ago? Where were you mentally, physically, emotionally when you watched this movie for the first time?
Wow. Okay, let's go in the time machine. In 1996, I am 15 years old. I am a high school student, a sophomore, not exactly enjoying that experience, and was clinging to certain things that I enjoyed just to get through my adolescence in this particular part of my life, Beavis and Butthead being one of them. And so I was very excited for this movie when it was released. Because, hey, it's more Beavis and Butthead and it's going to be in the movie theater. Okay, I'm a teenager. I do not have a job at 15. You can't really get a job at 15, except you're doing maybe under the table stuff or babysitting or whatever. So $5 for a ticket in 1996 to go to the movie theater. I mean, that was a little bit of a big deal if that's my own money. But I did it. I did it. I wanted to go so bad. Do you want to know how bad I wanted to go to this movie?
How bad?
I went to go see it opening weekend with my mom.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah. So look, for a 15-year-old, that's not great. That's not what you want to do. But
No.
the friends that I had who wanted to go to the movie and see it were out of town for that weekend. They were doing something elsewhere. I don't even remember what now. But we did go see it later. But I wanted to go opening weekend. I wasn't going to wait. So my mom genuinely wanted to go and see this movie. And I thought, well, fuck it. Let's go.
Okay. Well, and hey, I guess it worked out now. Did she pay or did she still make you pay your own money?
I think she did end up buying, but I offered because
Okay.
I had set aside my $5.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to have to ask my mom now about this experience. and can confirm that. She probably won't remember, but I'll ask anyway.
Okay.
Now, how about you? Do you have a recollection of this time period, and does it correspond with the first time you saw the movie?
I remember this time period in my life fairly well because I was a freshman in high school.
You baby.
Yeah, you cradle robber. And I lived in a very small town in the middle of nowhere. I was 40 miles removed from the nearest theater.
Which was my hometown.
But I think there was something about the fact that I was so far removed from being able to just take 5 minutes and get in the car and go to the movie theater. Like if I wanted to go see this movie, it was going to be an all-day excursion. And at 14, 15, I wasn't there.
How are you going to get there and all that? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really want to put in that much effort. And truth be told, I didn't want to put in that much effort. And truth be told, I didn't put in that much effort for pretty much anything movie related at that time. At that time in my life, like 15, I could probably count the number of times I had been to a movie in the theaters on my fingers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So not very much.
It was like less than 10. Yeah.
Wow.
And so it just wasn't a cultural thing for me. It wasn't something I did. And so I do know that I did not see it in theaters.
Oh.
At all.
Now, have you ever seen it on a big screen? Ever?
No, I still haven't. To this day, I've never seen it on a big screen. The biggest screen I've seen it on is our TV screen.
Which is a 65-inch, I think now 12, 13-year-old dumb TV. It's not even a smart TV. I kind of like it that way, though.
Yeah, it's great. And I don't remember the first time I saw it. I must have been sometime in college when I saw it for the first time. I do remember one year I had a roommate, TJ. Shout out to TJ.
Hey, TJ.
TJ had a great media collection. Like he had lots of CDs, he had lots of DVDs, and we spent a good chunk of our time together hanging out, watching movies and listening to music. And I'm almost positive that he introduced me to Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Nice.
Because I know for sure that he introduced me to SLC Punk.
Oh, one of your favorite movies of all time.
One of my favorite movies, yes.
Wow.
I know for sure the first time I watched that was with him in my dorm room in McIntyre Hall at the University of Wyoming.
Fantastic. So and this time period were really a big catch-up session for you, media-wise.
College was definitely. Yeah, I feel like I was way behind as far as media stuff goes, except for television. I was pretty well caught up on television, but movies and music, I was so far behind when I was 18, just from being in the middle of nowhere and not having that exposure and having that chance.
Right. I mean, all you really had was cable TV.
Yeah.
As far as like a media luxury goes in that middle of nowhere. So that makes a lot of sense. Here I was thinking that where I lived was super behind, but we at least had more than one movie theater. And I'm pretty sure I went and saw it for a third time in the theaters at the cheap seats.
Oh.
Back when that was a thing where you only paid like $1 or $2 and could see it all over again.
You know what? I'm jealous.
This was back in my movie-going days. Nowadays, it takes a lot to get me to the movie theater because, one, people are way ruder. People are on their stupid phones, just annoying. Sometimes the movie is just way too damn loud, and you may or may not even get a good seat depending on how crowded the theater is. It can be a real pain in the ass, and this little homebody would just rather enjoy it at home these days.
Well, and this little homebody would rather do the same just because, again, I was behind and I did get caught up in college, but it wasn't like I got ahead or changed my habits. I still am not a huge fan of going to the theaters. So we go maybe once every 2 years, we'll go see something.
Maybe. It's been even more sparing since COVID hit.
True.
What it really takes to get me into the theater is a Star Trek movie. I will go for that.
Nice. So here's my question is, as somebody who was exposed to this right from the beginning, what did you think of the movie then? Like, what were your takeaways as a 15-year-old who was a fan and was ready for this movie to come out?
First impressions. I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. It was a good experience. It's not like it blew me away as some award-winning filmmaking masterpiece or anything. Like, I didn't think it was the greatest movie that ever existed just because it was Beavis and Butthead. But I enjoyed it as it was intended, as a Beavis and Butthead movie on a big screen. And here's the thing, is I did enjoy it then, but I think I enjoy it even more in a lot of respects now, as time has gone by. There are things that I appreciate that I simply could not appreciate, didn't know to even notice or look for or observe with the movie-making process back when I was 15 that I know now.
Nice. So there's a greater appreciation for it as it's gotten older. It's aged like wine, not like milk.
Well, maybe like Trader Joe's wine in some respects. Some things I've definitely have taken down a notch, but we can maybe get into that a little bit later.
Sure.
But just like overall impression, I think I do like it just a shred more now than I did back then, but I still liked it then. How about you?
Well, I think the first time I saw it, I remember my takeaway being, hey, at least it didn't feel like an extended episode, right?
No.
Because a lot of things that jump from TV to movies suffer from that, right?
Yeah.
Rather than a half-hour episode, it's an hour-and-a-half episode. Well, this was different, and it was different enough that it really felt like a movie. And I remember really appreciating that it felt different. The tone was different. The animation was different. The colors were different. It was still our same lovable characters, but in a new context, not just a repeated context that happens to be a little bit longer. That was really cool.
You're so right. They really did step it up and make it a movie. That is among the things that I do appreciate about this movie more now.
The other thing that was a big takeaway for me, being a young kid in small town Wyoming, was how much love Wyoming got in this movie.
Yes.
And granted, it was only like 3 seconds, but that was everything.
Look, when most people don't even freaking know where Wyoming is and it's getting attention in a piece of media that you love, oh my God, they know about Wyoming. They're calling it out. Oh my God, Meeteetse, 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 Meeteetse.
So I do have a little bit of a story for you because this came out December 20th, 1996.
Yeah.
The weekend before, Meeteetse was in Midwest for a basketball tournament.
Oh, no kidding.
So I feel like an insider for the first time in my life. Like, I knew about Meeteetse before everyone else did.
Oh my God, you little small town hipster, you.
Yeah, so. And another thing that's interesting that I really do want to share is that attention, that little 3 seconds, a week later in our hometown newspaper, there's a front page above the fold story about that.
Oh my God.
Yes. So in the Casper Star Tribune, December 27th, 1996, and there's this cute little graphic on the front page. It says, Wyoming's cool.
Yes, this is something our hometown paper would have done back here.
And this reporter, and by the way, I have to give credit to this reporter, Jason Marsden. I never got the chance to meet Jason, but I heard nothing but good things. He recently passed away. He was only in his mid-50s.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. But I heard nothing but really, really great things about him as a person and as a reporter. So credit to him and his bylines on this story. And he actually interviewed some people in Meeteetse and Bags. And I thought that was awesome. I do have this quote that I want to read.
Please.
From Meeteetse Town Councilwoman Betty Johnson.
Oh boy, here we go.
And you know it's small town when Betty is Bettie.
Oh boy, you sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Here's Betty's thoughts.
What does Betty have to say?
I don't think we need the publicity from a trash bag outfit. We like our town the way it is and don't need any cartoon characters.
Oh, Betty, get a life.
And then there's a paraphrase. She added the animated pair probably couldn't pronounce Meeteetse correctly anyway.
Bitch, go watch the movie.
Watch the fucking movie, Betty. God damn it.
Betty.
Yeah, talk about passing judgment before you've had the chance to actually see what the discussion's about.
You know what? I hope somebody called Betty out on her BS.
I hope so too. Now, to Betty's defense, Meeteetse doesn't have a movie theater either.
Okay, so it's going to be really hard for Betty to go see it. Okay, fine. I suppose we have to give her that. But Betty, not only did they say Meeteetse correctly, they made it sound cool.
Yeah.
So your trash bags did you good.
Right?
Biatch.
I remember the first time I saw it and seeing that and being like, oh my gosh, that is so cool.
And it's not just one little town. It's like in this montage of several things. There's Big Piney, Bags in Wyoming, along with Butt, Montana, and Wipe, among many others in the West.
Yeah, it was great. And again, coming from small town Wyoming, when one of us gets recognized for anything, it's like all of us win.
It totally is.
And so that was my big takeaway as a young person. The first time I really got exposed to this movie was just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. They could literally pull South Park and have the president shit all over an American flag for the other 89 minutes, and I would still love this movie.
Because of Meeteetse.
Yeah, Meeteetse.
Just love the way Beavis says that so much.
Yes. All right, so now that we've kind of covered our initial teenager reactions, we did rewatch this week. What are things that you've noticed, maybe opinions that have changed, ideas that have changed as you've gotten older and as the movie's gotten older too?
Well, let's start off with the animation. Because especially starting out, the animation really does go for a more cinematic feel, like with shots that the TV show never did.
Yes.
And there's a lot of things like aerial shots or up shots showing scale, like Giant Butthead, the way the camera kind of crawls up to his face as he's stomping on things and stuff like that. But that's throughout the movie. There's good shots of showing the scale of like the Hoover Dam, for instance. And then, of course, there's the 365 shot of Beavis and Butthead dancing in Vegas, which even in the moment I realized was an undertaking to make that work.
Oh, definitely.
That had to have taken so many man hours of animation to make happen.
Yeah. One of the things that came out in the commentary track, even though we didn't listen to the commentary this week, one of the things that stuck out in the commentary is how intentional they were about making it different, look different from the TV show, because they realized the work that they were doing for TV was not going to translate to the big screen.
No. So they did make it bigger, and they really did put more into it. They stepped things up. They did things that they hadn't tried before. And I think we've mentioned before, they did things like a color palette for the first time to produce a Beavis and Butthead work of art for the movie.
Yeah.
Not the TV show, the movie, and stuff like that. Where it falls short now for me is, look, I'm not really looking to Beavis and Butthead for airtight storytelling, but Something that really stood out to me in this most recent watch is how crazy it really is for Beavis and Butthead to make this journey from Vegas to DC without getting caught. And I think what's happening is as I've aged and we're living in the 2020s as opposed to pre 9/11, where things were a lot more lax, security-wise, surveillance-wise, my brain is saying, implausible, there's no way that would happen. Like, especially when the boys reboard the Dream America tour bus after the massive wreck in Virginia. All of those people on that bus had been questioned and cavity searched, and no one said anything when they reboarded the bus. Are you kidding me? I don't buy that anymore. I didn't care about that when I was 15. Like, I could just let that pass, but now I can't.
There is another little plot point that I want to point out, too.
Oh, sure, go for it.
They are on the verge of death due to dehydration in the desert.
And they're fine.
And then they get a bucket of water thrown on them, and then they're spending 2 days in the trunk of a car. How did they go from near death from dehydration to, oh, hey, yeah, we can spend a couple days in the trunk of a car, no problem?
Do we have to assume that Muddy is actually feeding them and giving them drinks?
I guess we have to.
I hope so. I hope so. Otherwise, yes, they should be dead.
Yeah.
But they're cartoons. I know.
Right. We can't think too deeply on these things, otherwise our brains will break.
Yes. Another thing that did break my brain, by the way, was Tom Anderson's vehicle. For whatever reason, I never paid much attention to how many times this thing is just destroyed throughout the course of the movie. And then on this most recent watch, I'm like, that's the same vehicle that was drowned, and it's fine. Then it gets wrecked, like totaled, but it's fine. And Anderson's driving it to Washington where it gets towed away. Like, wow, that is one hell of a Jeep, I guess.
Yeah. It really is implausible how much it survives.
Yeah, it should be a different vehicle each time, and he's going to have a lot of explaining to do to the car rental company when this is all done. Whenever he's no longer arrested and being detained or whatever. But all of that aside, I still love the movie. I still have a good time watching it. It's still a great time, and it's got a banger of a soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
That is one thing I did not mention about 15-year-old Char is I did buy the Beavis and Butthead soundtrack with my own money.
Nice.
Back then, CDs, I think, were $15, so that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I listened to the crap out of it because back in those days, it's not like you had just MP3s floating around. No, you put that in your stereo and you listened to the whole thing because it was one of the few CDs that you had.
CDs were so expensive in the 90s, and I don't mean to make this a CD podcast, but I worked at Target one summer and one Christmas, and I remember there was a CD that went on sale, and it was, for those of you who do not remember this, Chris Gaines.
Who?
Exactly. This is Garth Brooks' alter ego.
Okay.
Garth Brooks' rock star persona. He put out a single, and it went on clearance at Target for 14 cents.
Oh my God. It must have been really good.
I bought it for 14 cents, immediately threw away the CD because I'm like, this case is worth more than 14 cents.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And I'm pretty sure I still have that case around somewhere. I threw all the old paper out and threw a CD that didn't have a case into it. That's my 90s CD story.
Wow.
So I do want to throw in a few observations that I have kind of noticed, and I don't know if these are recent observations, but they're definitely things I probably didn't pick up on the first time or the 5th time or the 10th time that I watched it. It took multiple rewatchings to kind of wrap my head around these things.
And to watch it with a critical eye, right?
Yes.
Because when you're watching something casually, you can let so much stuff go unnoticed, whereas we're really trying here with this watch to really notice things.
And one of the things that I noticed, I mean, it was in this watch, but it's come up before, was this the first place in Beavis and Butthead canon that revealed Texas as one of the locations here? That Highland was probably in Texas because those were the license plates we were seeing in the movie.
That's a really good question. That's a good observation, too. It might have been the reveal. Like, I think it's implied.
Yeah, and I think it comes up on the commentary, too, that Mike Judge was like, yeah, that was a mistake.
Oh, really? Okay, I do not remember that.
Yeah, he's like, that wasn't something that we wanted to do.
Oopsie, now you're in Texas.
Whoopsie daisies. Another one was, I do feel a certain amount of kinship with Butthead when Butthead is in the airplane and the stewardess comes and helps him with his...
The seatbelt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I love you. That's how I fall in love.
So the chick comes up, attaches the seatbelt, and it's love.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life. Yeah. And I'll never fall out of love. That's just how it's going to be. Yeah. And, that's how you got me. I mean, you shut the door in my face and I was like, oh my God, I love this woman.
It's true, y'all. I accidentally did that before we officially met. And yet, here we are. So you tell me what works and what doesn't.
Also, another thing that really does stick out to me on a rewatch is how much I take automatic urinals for granted now.
Because this was a Novell thing in 1996.
It was new. I really do think this might have been one of my first exposures to an automatic urinal was seeing it in this movie.
Well, Beavis and Butthead were certainly enamored.
Oh, yeah.
The automatic flush, it was better than Old Faithful.
Yeah. Well, I see it. I see it. And another thing that popped out to me was this brought back a memory, which, again, it didn't strike me at the time, but it really did strike me, especially recently. Have you ever stayed in a hotel where the remote was bolted to the nightstand?
Yes, I have, and it sucked.
I'd say I have too, but I think every time that it's happened, I've been in Nevada.
So are people just stealing remotes in Vegas? Is this a thing people do?
Apparently, I don't know. But it was very weird because it hasn't happened in a long time. And then I saw that in this movie and I was like, oh my gosh, that hasn't happened in a long time. But I remember it happening quite a bit when I was a kid and we were traveling like between Wyoming and Arizona. We'd always stay in this probably like a Motel 6 and or worse, depending on how thrifty my dad was feeling.
Oh my.
And usually the shittier the hotel, the more likely it was that the remote was going to be bolted to the nightstand. And I pulled a Butthead. The first time that happened, like I went over and tried to grab it. I was like, stuck. What's stuck? And I remember that feeling very well.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm pretty sure I did the same thing with my first attached remote. It's a remote. It's supposed to go with you. That's why it's called a remote. And you're telling me I have to go to the nightstand to change the channel? That's some bullshit.
So I have two more thoughts on the movie, if you'll bear with me.
Oh, please. I'm with you.
One is Beavis's line, I can't sleep without a TV.
This is why we fall asleep to the TV on in our house,
Yes.
because I, too, cannot sleep without a TV.
Mm-hmm. And I came into the relationship appreciating a little bit of noise going to sleep, but it did take us a hot minute to figure out what was going to work for both of us.
Yes.
Because you could fall asleep to the news and I couldn't. You could fall asleep to like anything.
Yeah, I could fall asleep to a documentary on Jonestown. It's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, and I have to know what's coming to fall asleep to it. If it's new, I'm not going to fall asleep. Like I can't fall asleep to CNN. I just can't. So we had to work through that, but I do like to think Beavis helped with that. Beavis helped me with my empathy because Beavis can't sleep without a TV. Oh, Shark can't either. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, so thank you, Beavis. And that is why we have our rotation of things we've watched a million times.
Yes.
Because that doesn't bother you nearly as much as something brand new to you.
Exactly. Yeah. And my last observation, and again, I think this might be the only new observation that I made this week.
What's that?
Both the movie and the original run end with the boys walking off into the sunset.
Yes, they sure do.
I had not made that connection until like literally just a few days ago.
Hey, but you made it.
And maybe this is old news for you diehard fans. Somehow I just made these two things connect in my brain.
Hey, that's all right. We all put these things together at different times. No judging.
Well, because I kept waiting for Tom and Marcy to come back and hold my hand, honey bunch. And then it didn't happen. I'm like, oh, wait, that's something else. That's the series finale for the original run. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Your boy's a little slow.
Hey, it's all right. We got to walk off into the sunset calling each other dillweed and butt dumpling and butt munch. I think it ends perfectly, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Well, it ended so perfectly, they did it twice.
That's right. Why screw with a good thing?
Right. So I guess maybe this is our cue to walk off into the sunset?
All right, you butt munch.
Dillweed.
Yeah, thank you, dillweeds out there, for joining us and listening to us talk about Beavis and Butthead Do America. We'd love to know what your memories are of this movie. If you saw it in the theater when it came out, what was your life like back then? What do you think of the movie now? If you want to share that, go on to Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook. The handle is TP for your earholes. Also on YouTube, you can leave comments there. We love it when you do that. You can send us a message on the contact form at tpforyourearholes.com. And I think that's all the things, right?
It is all the things, at least for now.
Okay, what are we going to do next week?
So next week, we are going to talk about, and I hate to say the other Beavis and Butthead movie, but the other Beavis and Butthead movie, which is Beavis Butthead Do the Universe. So we're going to talk about that one a little bit as well. And forewarning for our listeners, we gave you a lot of spoilers for Beavis and Butthead Do America, but we didn't feel bad about that because it's been out for 30 years. We will have spoilers for Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe next week.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched it yet, we encourage you, go watch it so you can listen in and feel like a part of the next episode, because that's where we're headed next Thursday.
That's your homework assignment. We hope you'll join us.